Hi, my name is John Tamming, and I'm running for City Councillor here in Owen Sound. That's a good question. As many people know, I've been a lawyer in this town for the better part of 3 decades. And what skills does a lawyer bring to a job like this? I think more than anything else, some intellectual rigor and a know-how when it comes to asking questions. I like to ask questions. I like to get answers. I think this town has spent way too much time studying things and not acting on them. We have a beautiful Riverside plan, for example. I'd like to act on it. We have a beautiful report on the cost of fire. I'd like to act on it. We did a beautiful report on the cost of policing. We haven't saved $1 in fire. We haven't saved $1 in policing. That really rubs me the wrong way, and I'd like to ask questions that will lead to answers. Why can't we get it done? And if I don't like the answers, I'll press some more.
Involved with in the past?
Well, in the past, I spent a number of years on the library committee, but to be honest, most of my work in this town has been behind the scenes. I'm a small town philanthropist, if you call it that. I've supported the art gallery. I've supported the artist co-op. Mr. Ostertag has run some concerts. I support that. The other day, the co-op called me. They had a beautiful press that was for sale in Quebec, a printmaking press. And they asked, could I support them? So we bought the thing. It's in town now, and there's going to be classes on printmaking. These are the things I'd like to support in this town. I am absolutely passionate about the arts. I'm passionate about culture, and I can't believe what this town has along those lines. One of the big things I'd like to bring to council is that passion, and I'd like to make sure the resources are available to the arts in this community as well. Because we all know it's an easy sell, to talk about potholes. It's an easy sell to talk about street lighting. The arts are not always the most obvious thing to fund, but let me tell you, they're not only an economic driver, they lift the spirit of the whole town, and I think we'll get kids to come back because of the art.
Generations.
My wife and Wendy and I, we have 6 kids between us, so it's a big question for us. None of the 6 have come back, not yet at least, and I'm hoping they do. I think it boils down to 2 things. I think it boils down, first of all, to the downtown, and second, to culture. Let me talk about the downtown for a minute. Mudtown is a terrific start. If we need a private-public partnership to get things done, I'm all in favor of that. But we need more. And I think more and more as I look at the faded downtown, and I don't mean at all to be critical of the stores that are trying to exist, but I've seen a real slide over the last 4-8 years. I think what we need, frankly, is a fresh set of eyes. I'd like to go out of town. I'd like to hire a downtown director, somebody from the States or elsewhere in Canada, somebody who's got a track record in turning urban blight around. And I'd like to give her all the power she needs to try things. The millennials have a saying, let's try, let's fail, and if we fail, let's fail quickly and get on to the next thing. So I'd like to empower her with bylaws. I'd like to see her review 4 or 5 properties a month and make sure they get cleaned up. I'd like to see her come up with ideas, anything from a pickleball tournament downtown to a permanent splash pad at Jersey Bay Park. These are the things I'd like to see a downtown director do. We might have to take down a derelict building, and we might just create a huge, giant patio and have cultural events there and coffee. These are the things I'd like to see happen downtown. We are not going to get our young people to come back if this town continues to slide. And so that's one way. The other way is the arts. And if we can get music, if we can get artists, and if we can get talent downtown, I think our kids might just consider coming home, maybe even my own.
Sustainable.
I'd love to answer that there's a plan. I'd love to answer that a councillor can get anything done in this regard, but I don't think any councillor has any power whatsoever over the harbor. It's a federal piece of property, And I think the best we can do is to lobby our federal representatives to get that cleanup started. But the cost of the cleanup would be massive. The last thing we'd want to do, and I'm a lawyer, is to acquire rights to that harbor and even to the harbor walls without getting all our liabilities covered by the government. I don't think they'd ever do that. So realistically, I'm sad to say, I don't think councillors could do much about cleaning up the harbor. We can't do it all.
Our community.
I'm not a stranger to addiction. It's been in my family. And just today I heard of a colleague, a local lawyer, who's running into huge issues and may lose his career over his addiction. These are tough issues. I think council's limited in its role. I'd like to see us do at least two things, though. First of all, I'd like to see the council and the town as a whole continue to make it a very public problem. It's not a private problem. It's not a problem on the wrong side of the railway tracks. Addictions belong to all of us, sadly, and it's going to take all of us to get it done. So the first thing I'd like to see council do is to work on removing the stigma that exists so we can talk about this openly with our kids, with our parents, with our siblings, and I think at least that's a start. The second thing council can do, we could probably do a better job at convening mass meetings, frankly, of all the stakeholders, because there's a lot of professionals, they're working in their own silos, they're doing good work, but I don't get a sense that we're working as a cohesive whole on this issue. And so if you ask me what I'd like to do about the crisis, remove the stigma and start working together on it. I think it'll be a really tough road ahead of us, but I think we can at least make a start. Well, first of all, I'd like to get back up to the old number of committees that we had. I don't think you can have enough public participation, and I don't know why I'd say no as a councillor to wanting some expertise out in the community. But I'd want two types of people on the committee. I'd want people, first of all, who have expertise in the area, but then I'd also want people who are capable of debating. This town has had way too much consensus. I don't think we've had a fight over the last 4 years in council except over water bottles. That's it. We haven't seen any debates over anything. I don't know what people are afraid of. They think debate leads to dysfunction. I don't know. But it does strike me that if we can increase the amount of committees, if we can say at least 3 or 4 people of the public, or public people have to be on that committee, if we can at least go in that direction, we're going to see a lot more debate, a lot more ideas. I'm not afraid of debate. I think we've had way too much consensus, and I would welcome a change to the committee structure of Ontario, or of Owen Sound. Thank you.